sorry I'm late on putting this up, but I'm going to give it a try. We're on 1 Samuel 26. And Jebusites came unto Saul to Gibeah, saying, Doeth not David hide himself in the hill of Hachilah, which is before Jezreel? And Saul arose and went down to the wilderness of Ziva, having 300 chosen men of Israel with him, to seek David in the wilderness of Ziva. I thought they got over this. Now here we are back at it again. 3. And Saul pitched in the hill of Hachilah, which is before Gishon, by the way, but David abode in the wilderness, and he saw that Saul came after him into the wilderness. David therefore sent out spies and understood that Saul was come in every deed. And David arose and came to the place where Saul had pitched. And David beheld the place where Saul laid, and Abner, the son of Ner, the captain of his host, and Saul laid in the trench, and the people pinched around about him. Then answered David and said to Ahimelech, the Hittite, and to Abishai, the son of Zeruiah, brother of Joab, saying, Who will go down with me to Saul to the camp? And Abishai said, I will go down with thee. So David and Abishai came to the people by night, and behold, Saul lay sleeping within the trench, and his spear stuck in the ground at his bolster. But Amner and the people laid around about him. I wonder if I just read this. And Then said Abish to David, God hath delivered thine enemy into thy hand this day. Now therefore let me smite him, I pray thee, with the spear, even to the earth at once. I will not smite him the second time. In other words, she's saying, let me just stab the spear in him just one time. That's all it takes. And I know I read 25, and I know I'm on 26, but it's like they fought. Now here they're fighting, still yet fighting, and they said they wasn't going to. All right. And David said to Abishai, Destroy him not. For who can stretch forth his hand against the Lord's anointed and be guiltless? David said, Furthermore, as the Lord liveth, the Lord shall smite him, or his days shall come to die, or he shall descend into battle and perish. The Lord forbid that I should stretch forth my hand against the Lord's anointed. But I pray thee, take thou now the spear that is in his bolster, and the cruse of water, and let us go. So David took the spear and the cruse of water from Saul's bolster, and they got them away, and no man saw it, nor knew it, neither awaked, for they were all asleep, because a deep sleep fell. The Lord was fallen upon them. Then David went over to the other side, and stood on the top of the hill, far off, a great space between them. And David cried to the people, and to Abner the son of Ner, saying, Answerest thou not, Abner? Then Abner answered and said, Who art thou that criest to the king? And David said to Abner, Art not thou a valiant man? and who is like thee in Israel? Therefore, when thou hast thou not kept the Lord the king, for there come one of the people in to destroy the king thy Lord. And this thing is not good that thou hast done. As the Lord liveth, ye are worthy to die, because ye have not kept your master, the Lord's anointed. And now see where the king's spear is, and the course of water that was at his bolster. And Saul knew that David's voice, and said, Is this thy voice, my son David? And David said, It is my voice, my lord, O king. And he said, Wherefore doeth my lord thus pursue after his servant? For what have I done, or what evil is in my hand? Now therefore I pray thee, let my lord the king hear the words of his servant. If the Lord have stirred up thee against me, let him accept an offering. But if they be the children of men, cursed be they before the Lord. For they have driven me out this day from abiding in the inheritance of the Lord, saying, Go serve other gods. Now therefore, let not my blood fall to the earth before the face of the Lord, for the king of Israel is come out to speak a flea, as when one doeth hunt a pilgrimage in a mountain. Then said Saul, I have sinned. Return, my son David, for I will no more do thee harm, because my soul was precious in thine eye this day. Behold, I have played thee full, and I have erred exceedingly. And David answered and said, Behold, the king's spear, and let one of the younger men, come over and fetch it. And the Lord render to every man his righteousness and his faithfulness. For the Lord delivereth thee into my hand today. But I would not stretch forth mine hand against the Lord's anointed. And behold, as thy life was much set by this way in mine eyes, so let my life be much set by the eyes of the Lord, and let him deliver me out of all the tribulation. And Saul said to David, Blessed be thou, my son David. Thou shalt both do great things, and also shalt still prevail. So David went on his way, and Saul returned to his place. Alright, let's see if we can read 27. And David said in his heart, I shall now perish one day by the hand of Saul. There is nothing better for me than that I should speedily escape unto the land of the Philistines. And Saul shall despair me, and seek me many more in any coast of Israel. So shall I escape out of his hand. And David arose, and he passed over with 600 men that were with him into Achish, the son of Maoch, the king of Gath. And David dwelt with Achish at Gath, he and his men, every man with his household, even David with his 2 wives, Ahimaaz the Jezreelite, and Abigail the Carmelite, Nathal's wife. And it was told Saul that David was fled to Gath, and he sought no more against for him. And David said unto Achim, If I have now found grace in thine eye, let them give me a place in some town in the country, that I may dwell there. For should thy servant dwell in the royal city with thee. Then Achish gave him Zaglah that day, wherefore Zaglah pertaineth unto the king of Judah unto this day. And the time that David dwelt in the country of the Philistines was a full year and 4 months. And David and his men went up and invaded the Geshites and the Girgashites and the Amalekites, for those nations were of old in the habitations of the land, and goest to shore, even to the land of Egypt. And David smote the land, and after neither man nor woman alive, and took away all the sheep, and the oxen, and the asses, and the camels, and the apparel, and returned and came to Achish. And Achish, whether ye made a road today. And David said, against the south of Judah, and against the south of Amalekites, and against the south of the Canaanites. And David saved their men nor women alive, to bring tidings to Gath, saying, lest they should tell on us, saying, so did David, and so we will be his master. And all the while he dwelt in the country of the Philistines. And Achish believed David, saying, he hath made his people Israel utterly to abhor him. Therefore he shall be my servant forever. Alright, let's go on and look at 28. And it came to pass in those days that the Philistines gathered their armies together for warfare to fight with Israel. And Achish said to David, know thou assuredly that thou go out with me to battle, thou and thy men. And David said unto Achish, surely thou shalt know that what thy servant can do. And Achish said to David, therefore will I make thee keeper of my head forever. And now Samuel was dead, and all of Israel had lamented him, and buried him in Ramah, even in his own city. And Saul had put away those that had familiar spirits and wizards out of the land. And the Philistines gathered themselves together, and came and pitched in Shuram. And Saul gathered all of Israel together, and they pitched in Gilboa. And when Saul saw the host of the Philistines, he was afraid, and his heart greatly trembled. And when Saul inquired of the Lord answered him not, neither by dream, nor by Urim, nor by prophets. Then said Saul unto his servant, seek me a woman that hath a familiar spirit, that I may go to her, and inquire of her. And his servant said to him, behold, there is a woman that hath a familiar spirit at Endor. That even sounds kind of scary there. And Saul disguised himself, and put on other raiment. And he went, and 2 men with him. And they came to the woman by night. And he said, I pray thee, divide unto me by the familiar spirit, that bring me him up, whom I shall name unto thee. And the woman said unto him, behold, thou knowest that Saul hath done. Now he hath cut off those that have familiar spirit, and the wizardry out of the land. Wherefore then layest thou a snare for my life, to cause me to die? And Saul swore to her by the Lord, saying, as the Lord liveth, there shall no punishment happen to thee for this thing. See, here he is using the Lord to get what he wants, his gain. Wrong thing to do. 11. Then said the woman, Whom shall I bring up unto thee? And he said, Bring me up Samuel. And when the woman saw Samuel, she cried with a loud voice. And the woman spoke to Saul, saying, What hast thou deceived me? For thou art Saul. And the king said unto her, Be not afraid, for what sawest thou? And the woman said unto Saul, I saw gods ascending out of the earth. All right, this is the false gods that she saw ascending out of the earth. And he said unto her, What form is he of? And she said, An old man cometh up, and he's covered with a mantle. And Saul perceived that it was Samuel, and stood with his face to the ground, and bowed himself. All right, look, I'm going to tell you, the evil spirits know what you look like, and they know your voice, and they can bring some of spirit up in the same thing that is not Saul, or is not Samuel. I'm sorry, Samuel. So this is a familiar spirit, is something that the demons know. All right. And Samuel said unto Saul, What hast thou inquirest me to bring me up? And Saul answered, I am sore displeased, for the Philistines make war against me, and God has departed from me, and answers me no more, neither by prophet nor by dream. Therefore I have called thee, that thou mayest make known unto me what I shall do. Then Samuel said, Wherefore then doest thou ask of me, seeing the Lord had departed from thee, and is become unto thine enemy? And the Lord hath done to him as he spoke by me. For the Lord hath rent the kingdom out of thy hand, and given it unto thy neighbor, even to David, because thou obeyest not the voice of the Lord, nor exceedeth into fierce wrath upon Amalek. Wherefore hath the Lord done this thing unto thee this day. Now remember, who was supposed to go and kill everything, women, children, beasts, everything, and he didn't do it. All right, number 19. Moreover, the Lord will also deliver Israel with thee into the hands of the Philistines, and tomorrow thou shalt thou and thy sons be with me. The Lord also shall deliver the host of Israel into the hands of the Philistines. So what this spirit is telling him is, you're going to die tomorrow. 20. And Saul fell straightway all along on the earth, and was sore afraid because of the words of Samuel. And there was no strength in him, for he had eaten no bread all day, nor all night. And the woman came unto Saul, and saw that he was sore troubled, and said unto him, Behold, thy handmaid hath obeyed thy voice, and I have put my life in my hand, and have hearkened unto the words which thou hast spoken unto me. Now therefore, I pray thee, hearken thou also unto the voice of thy handmaid, and let me set a morsel of bread before thee, and eat, and thou mayest have strength when thou goest on thy way. But he refused, and said, I will not eat. But his servants, together with the woman, compelled him, and he hearkened unto their voice. So he arose from the earth, and sat upon the bed. And the woman had a fat calf in the house, and she hasted and killed it, and took flour, and kneaded it, and baked unleavened bread therefore. And she brought it before Saul, and before his servants, and they did eat. Then they arose up, and went away that night. Alrighty, we've got 1, 2, 3 more chapters, and we'll be done with this book. Now, 2 Samuel is going to be like the first Samuel, but it is in a different, like a different person's eyes of doing it. So you'll hear a lot of it exactly the same, but you'll hear a little bit more of it. So I'll get to reading tomorrow night too. I love you guys and thank you for listening, even though I'm not too good at it.